Last time on Deep Space Wine. Two friends watching Deep Space Nine for the very first time on one of them's behalf thought they were just going to comment on just another straightforward episode. Instead, they were pulled into a parallel universe of evil bisexual doppelgangers and more dry ice on a space goth club than you could ever imagine. Yes, welcome back to Deep Space Wine, our DS9 podcast. Following straight on from last week, where we unfortunately ran out of time discussing crossover from season 3. Thank you so much for bearing with us and returning. We want to jump straight back into it because obviously we lost a bit of time last week due to massive enthusiasm. So without further ado, and now the conclusion. Kat, put us back in the scene, please.
Lieutenant Kira approaches our Kira and intensely whispers that this is my fault for listening to you, for keeping him alive in the first place. She then talks to Bashir, who is just done at this point. He looks completely fed up. She says she doesn't know much about our universe, but it looks as though his kind have a lot to learn. He says, we have a lot to learn. What a laugh. And we've then got a picture. She opens her eyes wide and says, with a finger raised. She tells him that on this side, his kind do not speak back to their superiors and certainly do not murder them. Evil Kira says that he was the only one of his kind, the man you killed. Do you realize that? He was irreplaceable. No one ran that operation as efficiently as he did. This is my reward for treating you Terrans with the least bit of respect. And she invites Garrick to use him as an example to all Terrans and let him die slowly in view on the promenade. Let his pleas for mercy echo through the corridors for all Terrans to hear. And our Kira interrupting and saying, Intendant, overlaps slightly with the end of this speech, which is a really nice way of obscuring the fact that it's the same actor being recorded twice.
Good shout, yes.
Yeah, it's just a way of making it appear that they were in the room at the same time, even though she's off screen when she says it.
What a speech as well. Can we just say that speech from Intendant Kira is it's a little bit pantomime villain, you know. Let his cries ring through the halls. It is a little bit pantomime villain, but it's the first time I think we've actually seen her be no longer that faux affably evil, as TV tropes would have it. She's now into full scenery chewing, overwhelmed villain. Just I'm not only going to kill you, but it is going to hurt the entire time you are being killed. It's
and
great.
I think it fits with her character,
Yes.
who genuinely believes that what she's done is the best for everyone involved. The Terrans don't have the wit to do anything else. They've got to do the work for us because someone has. But then when I treat one of them a little bit kindly, they treat me terribly. Look where it gets me. I'll have to be more cruel from now on, and it's your fault.
The worst type of villain justification is that, but it was for the best. I was giving you a hand up. Look at you. You'd be living.
I gave you every advantage. And what did you do with it?
It's
very political. Far too many politicians take that tack.
Indeed. Thank you also, Sarah Orange, in the chat there, who references another great pantomime villain speech by saying, with a spoon! Referencing Alan Rickman as the Sheriff of Nottingham in the Kevin Costner Robin Hood?
Yes.
Yes, I'm sure that's it. Sarah, you'll tell me in chat if I've got the wrong film, but I
haven't seen Men in Tights, so I can't tell you what was parody and what was in the real one.
I think it's the serious one, the Kevin Costner serious one, and not Men in Tights. Oh, it is Kevin Costner's Men in Tights, right? Okay.
Yeah, he is a very campy villain in that.
Brilliant, another brilliant villain. But yes, that great overblown villainous speech to me is that's peak performance. You might not like it, but that's what it looks like.
It is indeed. I'm loving that the era of film that we're referring back to is aging us as much as you're having seen the first time round. Oh. Evil Kira then talks to O'Brien, referring to him as, you tinker, you putterer and fixer of broken things. You've been the perfect Theta for years. What were you thinking? And I love that little description of him. And when it's brought back in a little bit, it works really well. He asks if she actually wants an answer, Intendant. And when she replies yes, he gives a little speech about how Bashir is a doctor where he comes from. And there O'Brien is some kind of high-up chief of operations. They're Terrans, can you believe it? Maybe it's a fairy tale he made up, but it started me thinking how each of us might have turned out if history had been just a little different. I wanted him to take me with him because whatever it's like where he's from, it's got to be better than this. There's got to be something better than this. And Intendant Okira replies, "Not for you, Mr. O'Brien." She says that Bashir will be taking him with him, just not where he thought they'd be going. I love that little speech. It's as much as this episode has a thesis, other than evil bisexuals are amazing, actually, and we need more of them. It is that, but for accidents of history, anybody's personality, anybody's chances and choices in life could have been entirely different from what they were like. And it's not just the people involved, it's what has come before them that shapes who they are, what their goals are, what they are able to do. And I love that comes from cast down O'Brien. It's not one of the villains realizing I could have been mightier still in a world like yours. It's someone who is very oppressed realizing actually things could be better for someone like me, and I want it.
So yeah, I think all of that chaos brings us into the end. There it is, crossover. I don't know, Kat. While I gather my thoughts, what did you think? You must have some notes for the end.
I have made note. There is just too much to say about this episode. I absolutely loved it. It's fun, it's creative, it makes really good use of existing Trek canon while also building on it.
Yes.
It's got humour, it's got a great use of direction and special effects. Everyone acts their asses off, but especially in our visitors, Intendant Kira and herself playing double duty as the same person in several scenes. There's just so much to enjoy in it, and it manages to be both an example of my favourite kind of episode. It features most of the ensemble cast, and the story is mainly about the interactions between them and their relationships, but it also takes place in a strange world where everything is different from the world of most episodes. So it's both familiar and it's novel, and that's a really great combination for a show like Trek that's got both a lot of history and wants to keep creating new and exciting ways of looking at the world that it's already built. And it's such a great leaping off point for a future episode about the mirror universe, should they ever choose to do one. So yeah, but in the meantime, since I've seen this episode, I've also just complete coincidence, people have been posting in the Star Trek shit posting group on Facebook, which I greatly enjoy.
Seriously,
and the
gross,
most recent
morally bankrupt, best group of people on the net.
woke-ass bandwagon. Or was it woke ass wagons? I forget. But the current trend is someone came up with a website whereby you can put your own titles onto Star Trek opening screen backgrounds. And someone did one saying, "It's a Mirror Universe episode, feel free to skip." And the comments went wild, including me in the comments, just going, why would you skip some of the best fiction that ever has been created? Why would you skip one of the best villains there's ever been? Why would you skip up? It's just, it's incredible. Why would, how?
Yep. No, I get it.
Rhymes on the side of my face.
There is hot. Yes. There is shit posting, and then there is shit posting. You know,
Yes.
Not every meme is going to be a banger. You know, and that person was dragged in Gromp righteously and with good cause, because mirror episodes have been great. I can't speak to the ones on Enterprise, as I've said in previous episodes of Deep Space Wine. I've not seen Enterprise. I couldn't stomach it. I'm sorry, everyone. But I understand they go wild with their crossover episodes. So
yeah, I have no tremendous love of Enterprise. I think there is a lot in it to enjoy. I think some of the individual characters are a great deal of fun, and some of the ideas in individual episodes are really good. Some of the world, in fact, yeah, there's a lot to enjoy in Enterprise, even though you've got to sit through that damn theme music to get to it. And the mirror episodes do not have that theme music at the start. And the first mirror episode starts with a callback to one of the movies that is just, I cackled when I watched it.
I have seen it.
Absolutely brilliant.
The Zephyr Cochrane meeting the Vulcans. Yeah, I've seen that on YouTube and gone, oh damn, that's cool. So, yeah.
It's cold as hell, but it's just genius as well. It's so playful with what exists in the universe and what they were allowed to do with it. I think it is a bit vainglorious. It's a bit of, we can get away with doing this because we're the damn showrunners. But sod it, it works really well and it's a lot of fun.
Oh.
So mirror universes are probably the most fun you can have without forcing all of the cast to take off their clothes every time they get back on the ship for the decontamination chamber.
Yeah. Again, that I've seen more times in memes than I've ever seen in an episode. That gets dragged again, righteously and with good
Rightly
reason.
so.
Oh, absolutely horrible.
Yeah, Enterprise ain't worth it, but watch the mirror episodes. They are genuinely a lot of good fun.
That's your recommendation of the day from Deep Space Wine. I'll also acknowledge in chat, Lieutenant Cat is pointing out that Discovery do the mirror universe quite well, and I watch Discovery through I think most of the Mirror Universe plotlines, and I did enjoy them. I thought Gabriel Lorca was a good villain. Sorry, is that a spoiler? It's been a
No,
while. It's not
I was reading today a post about how there isn't a good universe Lorca. We just have to assume that he died in our universe
Yeah,
before we got to meet him.
I think there
And
was
evil
some.
universe Lorca names three heroes from our history, one of whom was a trillionaire who paid to have it happen. And the best way that they could get around that was by taking the money and then putting his name in the mouth of a villain from the Mirror Universe. So good on him.
Dodge that disruptor blast. Yes, thank heavens. Wow. Okay.
But yeah, just one more
Oh,
observation. I
please.
really like that the content of the episode is very dark without feeling depressingly familiar from previous episodes of Deep Space Nine. It does have enslaved humans, they're forced to do hard labor, but the overall focus of the episode makes it feel, I think, very different from other episodes in the season that are focused on the struggle of the Bajorans under Cardassian occupation. I think I might have said earlier in our last episode, the situation isn't entirely dissimilar from the situation on Terok Nor in the past, but the plot steers us away from another long, hard look at a Holocaust analogy, and I'm glad that it does. It makes the episode very different from those around it. It's an alternate history of a fictional universe rather than an analogy for our own history. And I think that, I think that plus the novelty of it, I won't be sad the next time that I'll be sad in the appropriate ways the next time we have an episode that looks at Bajor under Cardassian rule. I think it's appropriate to keep doing that, and I think it's well worth returning to. But I enjoyed this one. It was more fun than that. It's a very different kind of episode, and I really admire that they managed to do that. I did say last time that that the station looks completely different from Terok Nor in the past. They've very consciously written a completely different kind of story, and props to them. It really works.
That is such a good point, and I do think it's worth recognising because we've always enjoyed when they've very seriously explored the Cardassians, who are stand-ins for any number of fascist dictatorships in the real world. You know, the parallels are overt all the way through. So it is a difficult area to negotiate. I think with the Mirror Universe, they can go in a different direction, maintain some of the elements, but we understand with the Mirror Universe, it's more about, good lord, all of our characters have cruel little beards now and are evil, and it's more character driven, it's more their story driven. It's not here is a critique of dictatorships and cruelty and slavery and the other tropes that Star Trek normally does with the other galactic powers that the Federation faces off with. So I thought it was a really neat way of sidestepping that and instead giving us a real good character driven story, and so good at doing it as well because Nana Visitor as Intendant Kira is something else. You are, from the moment they're on screen, you accept that they are two separate people, like really separate. Like you can have like a flip. Like O'Brien's very close to his Prime version, Garak's fairly close, but the two Kiras are just universes apart. I cannot.
But they also understand one another incredibly well, such that they're able to manipulate each other because they know the way that their own mind works. It is really compelling, I think, the way that that's understood and played out, and that neither of them is made to be foolish or stupid. They're both very intelligent characters. They don't do you see, this one's evil, so she's stupid and she underestimates it. She's actually very intelligent, but she has a lot of people working against her for very good reason.
And yet they've both gravitated to a position of power and authority. Both of them have that natural inherent nature to take charge, direct things, control the situation.
Yeah, but one of them by playing along with the fascists, one of them by fighting them. Yeah.
You see, 30 years on, we are still teasing out these differences and similarities that make these characters so compelling. That, for me, is the pinnacle of good story writing. And
absolutely, it hasn't aged badly in the time since it was written, and it could have been really cheesy and terrible, and it isn't, I contend, against all of those who think the Mirror episodes are dreadful. I really love this episode. I think everything about it just worked so damn well. I've got some extra bits from Memory Alpha.
Please.
From this one's from StarTrek.com, a 2021 interview with Nana Visitor about this episode. And she's quoted as saying, "An interesting thing happened. The more I played the intendant, the clearer I understood Kira. If you want to do a tragedy, the best way to do it is take the words and make it into a comedy. So you stretch it in a whole other direction and then come back and see it in a clearer way. You engage your consciousness with being the absolute opposite of something. And you have to realize what that seed is that you're flipping." So it not only made the intendant fun, but it made Kira richer for me as well. And the next question was, so what was it about the intendant story that made you as an actor step back and think, now I understand more about Kira, because Kira really was a very complex character? And Nana replied, exactly. And when I realized how simple it was to flip it, to make it all about the intendant, to make her think that other people were stupid and didn't really count as much as she did, just being a narcissist, made me understand the depth of Kira and how amazing people like Kira are, people that live for others and take the chance to live as they really believe their ethics demand.
That's an incredible read on a character she's embodied. That's amazing.
Isn't it?
Thank you
It's
for
beautiful.
sourcing
And
that,
yeah,
Kat.
that lack of empathy for others, which I think, because I so often see Kira in opposition to Cisco, she's often pulling for the Bajorans versus all of the people around her. I think empathy isn't always the first thing that comes to my mind, because she's pursuing her own motive. She isn't able to take everyone's needs into account all of the time, because she's had to fight so strongly for her own people. But her empathy for everyone back on Bajor, all the people she's not directly confronted with, but knows intimately what they've been through, what they're still going through. Her empathy is tremendous, and her co-working with other people is what has driven her to become the person that she is, and is what drove her to help free Bajor. So it's a beautiful take on the character and on what Intendant Kira lacks, that ability to work with others rather than against them. Because even though I say she works with the fascists, she's nonetheless pursuing her own motives within that. She's carved out her own niche separate from holding power over others rather than working alongside them.
Yep. And it's when they reference Garak trying to assassinate her, it's quite clear that the power, the regime in power that she works with has no real consideration for her, as we've seen in other Mirror episodes. There is no value on any life. You can't work with others because everybody's always trying to stab you in the back to take your power. So it's not only a reversal of her, but it's a reversal of the world she would work in, where there is none of that collaborative work. So yeah, it's a complete antithesis to the Federation, to the ideals this TV show kind of encourages us to adopt. So, yeah, talk about a mirror.
And that depth of thought on the part of the actor playing Kira. She didn't just go, she's the same as Kira, but, camply evil and in a cat suit. Because she could have. She could have just rocked up, gone, and called it a day. And she didn't. She realised through playing that character more things about the character she plays from week to week, and that's wonderful. And I think that's I think it is indicative of how the Star Trek cast generally view their work and the depth to which they work, especially on shows like Deep Space Nine, where they have 20 episodes to play with. I think that in modern Trek, where they've got far fewer episodes in which to build up a character and the relationships between characters, they doubtless suffer for that lack of depth that you can develop when you've got so much time to play with.
That's such a good point. I think we've mentioned it a few times before, but I'll bring it up every opportunity I get. I think this pivot towards like 9 or 10 episode seasons that you get once a year is unhelpful in every sense of the word, because no showrunner is then going to take the chance to indulge on a Mirror Universe episode. They do try, and I salute Lower Decks and Discovery and Strange New Worlds for occasionally doing bizarre things like a musical episode or 2 musical episodes or whatever. But if you could just pad it out with more episodes where we just get time to spend with a crew while they deal with something that isn't quite as catastrophic. We learn more about them. They can embody the characters more. I
think that's it. In those episodes, you very rarely get to see the characters spend any length of time at ease. There always has to be a crisis because you've only got between 6 and 10 episodes to play with. So you just haven't got you just lack the time for it. And when they do something like the musical episode, for me, it doesn't necessarily feel earned. I don't feel that I know those characters well enough to be really enticed by the idea of them suddenly shouting their secrets to each other, because they've had to have their secrets displayed on their faces for the camera in every episode for us to understand what's going on. There hasn't been time for subtlety and for very careful building up of relationships. It just, I think for various reasons it doesn't work well. And I think the showrunners are doing the best that they can in a very difficult situation, I would emphasize. I think the shows are still very much worth watching, but I do. I yearn for the days of 20-odd episodes in a season where you could have episodes of varying quality, episodes of massively different emotional ranges. I think cramming in a Gone episode next to a musical episode, for example, which I think is the direction it went in, I could be mistaken, is too freaking much. I'm getting the emotional bends from week to week, watching characters getting killed off and then singing about it. Whereas when you've got 20 episodes, you've got space for the Irishman to be tortured, and then the next episode is just fed up with fixing the replicators again. It's okay. I've got time to recover.
Absolutely. Man, Kat, I can't add anything to it. That is exactly it. That is the issue. And unfortunately, I do not see it changing, because Star Trek is just another title on the groaning shelves of Paramount. And I don't imagine they will change anything, because the world we are in now is streaming on demand series of short run time and even shorter time to prove themselves worthy of being continued. The amount of shows that get access after one season because they've not achieved whatever magical number producers expect, network executives want. It's merciless, and I don't unfortunately see it changing anytime soon, which is a damn shame. In this year, 2023, anniversary year of the very first broadcast of Star Trek, the original series, in 1963, and we have no new Star Trek TV show under production, which is a damn shame. On that cheery note, Kat, do you have any further notes on crossover?
No, I don't believe I do. I think we've come to the end of all of my thoughts. Well, all of the thoughts that I'm pleased to share with an online audience, at least. I really enjoyed this episode. I think, as I've said before, I've been really spoiled by having this one following The Wire. They just meet what I want from Star Trek and what I want from my media generally so well. I've enjoyed them so very much. And I understand that we are now kind of ramping up to the end of season 2, so it's possible that we'll get yet more drama, yet more 3 episodes to go.
Season 3.
The end of season 2 and then the start of season 3. Oh my god.
No, we're in season 3.
We're in season...
Aren't we?
No, we're at the end of season 2. This is episode 23 of season 2.
God, how is this taking so long?
I know, this is what happens when we have to cover one episode over two episodes, because I love it too much and it takes forever, and we're probably both going to die before we get to the end of it. And incidentally, watching viewers, if I haven't said it before, which I probably have, if I do die before we get to the end of this, my funeral is going to involve all of my friends coming into a room, sitting down to the Deep Space Nine theme, and then someone is quietly going to lock the doors behind you and start the next episode of Deep Space Nine that I've not seen, and you're going to watch it all with my body there in the room so that I've been present for it. And you are not going to leave until it's ended. So you've got to hope that we've got to get further than the end of season 2 before I pop my clogs. That's what I want.
Well, thank you for that terrifying view of the future, Kat. We will bear that in mind and honour your wishes as you so require. And chat is completely behind you as well. Thank you, Willow. Sarah reminding me that it will never end. And David pointing out that I need to keep up with what season we're in. And they are right. They are absolutely right. I've completely lost track. It's
understandable that you haven't, though. There are a lot of seasons. And we have been doing this for 3 years now.
It's astonishing, isn't it?
It's just taken us this long to get through.
But it's totally worth it. We're still having a good time, right?
I think so. I really damn well am. And I'm looking forward to seeing what comes before season 2 ends, and then what season 3 has to bring. Because, I know some stuff that happens in the future by accident from seeing memes. I've got no idea when it happens. Yeah. And I don't know any of the broad strokes. I don't know who the Dominion are. Good. I know that there's a thing called Wayoon. I don't know what the fuck he's all about. So there's still a hell of a lot to go. Completely mysterious to me, and I don't know when it'll happen. So... It's all to play for in this long game of watching Kat watch a 30-odd-year-old television series.
I wouldn't change it for the world. We're all having a great time. And thank you very much, Kat, for sharing all of this and sacrificing your hard-earned fanfic reading time as well. It's much appreciated. appreciated. Right, folks, you will be delighted to hear that. That means we can draw this episode to an end at only an hour, because
Shortest episode ever.
we've only taken an hour to get through about 25 minutes of programming. But no, we wouldn't change it for the world, because it is a delight to discuss this with Kat and with you all. So thanks so much for joining us. We will return when we have sufficient time and energy to discuss the next episode in season 2, which is The Collaborator.
Ooh, Leiden.
So you have your instructions as to what episode to enjoy before next time. Just thank you so much for joining us. 2 weeks on the bounce. It's exhausting to us. It's exhausting to all of us. So thank you so much, everyone in chat, for joining us. It's much appreciated. With that, I will wish you long life. I will wish you all to prosper, and we will see you again as soon as possible.
Oh, thank you, everybody.
Bye.